Connection to the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Albert. Today we're going to introduce about the situation of the Taiwanese dairy industry under globalization and its connection to the world. First of all, let's talk about the introduction. Let's talk about our research motives first. Why we chose this topic. We see that cattle are bred in unsuitable climates. We see the milk prices in Taiwan, and we see the market diversity. We all know that Taiwan is located in the subtropical region compared to temperate zones where cattle were originated from, such as China, India, Russia, Spain, the USA, Mexico, or even Brazil. Taiwan is actually unsuitable for cattle growth. However, in recent years, the milk industry has developed reasonably well. Looking at this chart, we can know that milk prices in Taiwan are the highest in the whole world. That poses a clear disadvantage and weakness of how the milk industry operates against globalization. Looking at this photo we've taken at a local supermarket, we can also know that the milk market in Taiwan is highly diverse. It owns products from big companies to cell-phone brands. The aforementioned leads us to the purpose of this dissertation. We aim to understand the progression of history of the industry. We aim to know the current situation, the current marketing and production situation of the industry. And then we want to connect it to the world, and then, therefore, we can envision future goals. To carry out this report, we have used the methods of referencing reports and to interviewing related personnel. We've chosen to reference from government past reports with the aid of some information pulled from some journals. We've interviewed Mr. Wang, the dairy farmer in Luing District, Tainan, and Mr. Hu, the Secretary General of the Taiwanese Dairy Farmer Association. The structure of this report will be based on the agricultural system we've studied in geography class before. The dissertation will be put into 4 sections: input, process, output, and feedback, respectively. Upon introducing, let's jump into the in-text. Just before entering the topic discussion, we'd like to introduce the history of the industry first. Since the Japanese occupation period, the Japanese introduced cattle farming into Taiwan, but the industry didn't quite take off. Since 1971, the government launched policies such as establishing specialized districts, causing the industry to take off. And since 2014 food scandals like the gutter oil incident, the customers have started to lose faith in big companies. The sudden and big change of customer behavior led to the prosperity of local cell phone brands. Looking at this chart we've made to show the dairy farm count throughout history in Taiwan. In recent years, Taiwanese farmers and the government has aimed to lower agricultural costs, and the number count has stabilized to approximately 700 farms. Since establishing his farm since 1994, Mr. Huang's farm has grown into one of 220 cows and approximately 0.7 hectares of land. These facilities are installed by Mr. Wang to stick to his idea of humane feeding. Circulating fans are to keep the cows cool. Parallel milking systems are to keep the cows happy. And the cow beds are installed to provide a comfortable environment for cows to sleep in every night. And back scratchers, clogging systems, and milk coolers are facilities that Mr. Wang installed to improve his overall milk quality. Mr. Wang has come a long way since entering the milk industry. He used to supply milk to big companies like Uni, Weichuan, or Gongchuan. And since the 2014 food scandals, he established his own brand of Shanglong Xiping and now sells his products at EX Marts. Now let's talk about the input section. The input section will be divided into 4 sections: cattle, land and labor, water, and facilities. There are mainly 2 cattle breeds fed in Taiwan: the Holstein's Frisian breed and the Jersey cattle. The Holstein cattle mainly originated from Germany, while the Jersey cattle originated from the United Kingdom. In recent years, Taiwanese farms have stopped relying on cattle imports and to just feed the ones already accustomed to Taiwanese climates. These are the sources of which the fodder comes from. Alfalfa sprouts, hay and corn mainly come from Australia, while some of the little oats and corn come from Australia. And the only locally grown fodder are forage corn, field corn, and hay. Looking at the ratio of local fodder to imported fodder, we can infer that local fodder has been on the rise from 46% to 53%. That is because of government policies to activate fallow lands and to cultivate local corn. The plan is aiming to add 8,000 hectares of more hay fields and a 60% more usage of local fodder. Comparing to foreign farms, Taiwanese farms are highly labor intensive. German farms average 60 hectares per person, whereas in Canada, a family farm averages 300 hectares of land per person. In Taiwan, we average only 1. As for facilities, due to less farmers dedicating themselves to farms, farmers have to start using automatic facilities. However, due to less funds investments in the industry, farmers cannot use the rotary milking parlor that is used worldwide. To put the input section into 3 conclusions, we can see that 1, due to the unconventional climate that isn't suitable for the cattle industry, Taiwanese farms have bred cattle for decades to adapt to the climate. 2, Taiwanese farmers still rely greatly on cattle imports, so the government has taken action to cultivate local forage corn. 3, due to less labor inputs, farmers have started to use automatic facilities.
Next part will be the processing section. As we look at the workflow of Taiwanese dairy farmers, they feed the cow twice a day and milk them once. And the next section will be the output section. In this part, we mainly present 2 different methods for dairy farmers to sell fresh milk to the market. Supply to food companies remain the most common part nowadays, with its proportion accounting for over 9%. Farmers who adopt these methods just need to simply sign contract with the companies and supply milk to them. As for the Southern brands, they start to drive actively through the method line 13. Farmers who adopt these methods can create their own flexible and autonomous marketing strategies, while they have to negotiate with food processing companies, logistic companies, and different markets all by themselves. We also divide output process into 3 parts: processing, logistics, and marketing. Nowadays, the procedure of processing have about to be standardized in the world, and the only significant variation between the Taiwan and the world might be the pasteurization part, as the producers in Taiwan tend to adopt the UHT method due to the high temperature. Meanwhile, the high temperature in Taiwan has also been a huge challenge for milk transportation. The cold chain logistics, therefore, is introduced to secure the quality of the milk. Finally, as the cell phone brands foster nowadays, the products presented on the market began to be more and more diverse. Such a huge diversity can appeal to more customers with different shopping hobbies and habits. Next, we'll be moving on to the feedback section. In this part, we'll mainly focus on the influences of foreign milk imports. According to the current report, New Zealand, the United States, Australia, and multiple European countries are top main exporters to Taiwan. Furthermore, since 2014, the amount of imported milk started to surge. And although the amount that in 2018 is still only about 1/10 of local production, it still casts a potential drag on the local industry. On top of that, imported frozen milk cubes, which are currently widely adopted by the convenience stores, can also pose threats onto local industry due to its cheap price and great convenience for transportation. We then give out two assumptions to explain the growing amount of imported milk. Under the trend of globalization, Taiwan has joined several economic organizations such as WTO and signed multiple unilateral treatments such as ASTAC with New Zealand. Such bundlings with the world can make the products produced in different countries flow into Taiwan more easily. Next, as the food safety issues outbroke in 2013 and 2014, the customers might lose their confidence in local milk and turn to foreign milk. Furthermore, the event also leads to the foster of self-owned brands. The food companies in Taiwan can therefore use their local milk stores, and therefore they have to buy more imported milk instead. Eventually, we'll be moving on to the conclusion of the report. In this map, we present some of the countries and regions that have interaction with the Taiwanese dairy industry. Next, due to low funds and low output, it's still quite impossible for the Taiwanese dairy industry to rely on milk exports. Furthermore, due to the high proportion of foreign fodder and rapid growth of imported milk can also pose threats onto the local industry. Therefore, we can conclude that the position of Taiwanese dairy industry in the global market remains passive and peripheral. But how can the Taiwanese dairy industry overcome these difficulties? Well, it's actually not hard to recognize that the efforts paid in to secure the quality of the milk is ubiquitous throughout the industry. Meanwhile, the huge diversity currently presented on the market can appeal to more customers with different hobbies and habits. As for the targets and goals, we adopt the words of Mr. Wang and our personal research experiences to conclude that adopting humane feeding methods and establishing brand values and trade qualities are the two targets Taiwan dairy farmers should be focusing on. We believe that with those targets being achieved, the Taiwanese dairy industry will keep their dominance in the domestic market and continue to thrive and survive in the future. Above is our report. Go listen.